In the waning hours of the year 6260, we reflect on the trials we have faced. We are alive because we have triumphed through a perseverance. Our hearts embraced power and authority and wisdom through our deeds, not only our words. This has transformed our spirit and has given us the strength to go forward by deeds, not words. 6261 will become a year of momentum in which we should keep rising and never looking back. How can we do that? Subscribe to our channel, Community Blue Ethics, and also enroll into our Band Foundations, and let us proceed to understand who we are and our own identity. We know that the year of momentum now draws to a close, but the journey ahead with its promise unfolds. How do we keep rising and not look back or fall back or slide back into mediocrity? How do we clean and clear our path ahead? Who can we trust to boost our self-mastery and to sharpen our vision and focus as we forge ahead? Would it be Allah? Would it be Jesus? Would it be Yahweh? Or the remote creator who is beyond and far? We understand the agenda, which teaches us that we should know and practice the transitioning process, and we should know whose new year matters most to us and be able to refine our life goals. Our ancestors taught us that the gods will depart from mankind, which will be a grievous thing, and only evil angels will remain. These evil angels will mingle with men and drive the poor wretches into all manner of reckless crime, into wars and robberies and frauds and all things that are hostile to the nature of the soul. In the case of our failure, in the case of us not knowing or not practicing the transitioning process, that means that we will be promoting those things that are detrimental to the nature of the soul. There are many cultures in the world and many religions in the world, but they celebrate their own New Year's or their own holidays. For us, we have a holiday, a new year that is marked by the transition between the years. It's not like you were in 6260 yesterday and the following day you are in 6261. It's a process, and that process has its own practices. It's different from the cultural failure in which we have engaged in celebrating other people's New Year's. The power of practicing the truth is tremendous. Billions of melanin-dominant human beings celebrate other people's New Year's and holidays. They do so perhaps unknowingly, but in their ignorance they are empowering and disempowering their own lives and empowering people like Julius Caesar, the emperor of Rome, who was the first to declare that January 1st is a national holiday, which has now become an international holiday. This cultural failure, like celebrating Christmas in Africa, is clearly an indication that we have lost touch with what our ancestors invented. Our ancestors invented the first and oldest formal solar calendar on Earth after having practiced other systems prior to that. New Year's first day that is popular in the world, January the 1st, in the Gregorian calendar, was introduced by Pope Gregory of the Roman Catholic Church in 1582. Prior to that, the world had been dominated by the Julian, that was created by Julius Caesar when he visited Hamid and was taught by our priest in 46 BCE. And sometimes March 25 and other dates had played a role in celebrating their new year. But for our ancestors who invented 4236 and 4241 before Common Era knew what to celebrate. You can visit the website gekamovement.org to learn more about it. Our brothers and sisters also call themselves Black Hebrew Israelites. They celebrate Rosh Hashanah, which is a happy new year. According to the Jewish scholars and Judaic practices, the world was created on the first day of the Hebrew calendar, which corresponds very surprisingly to the 23rd of September in the year 3761 before Common Era. This event is known as the creation of the universe by their God, as described in the book of Genesis in their Torah. Melanin dominant human beings are not born Jews, neither are they born Christians or Muslims. They convert into those religions. We know that our ancestors invented the oldest calendar, the oldest formal solar calendar on earth, in 4236 and 4241. It is important for us to understand that the symbolisms associated with celebrating other people's New Year's involves the empowering of their gods. Rituals including like the blowing of the shofar, eating sweet foods like apples dipped in honey, symbolize a sweet year for those that are practicing that. It is deeply spiritual. It is deeply causing you to focus on other gods and other deities and ignoring your own. If you follow these cultures, like the Jewish culture, the Islamic culture, and their New Year, you have lost your momentum. You won't rise, but you keep falling. Because they also teach you that a day begins at sunset. From sunset to sunset, they say it's another day. Yet our ancestors taught us that the actual day begins at sunrise. From sunrise to sunrise, because that's when the god Ra gets his energy and power. The reverse of this equation is detrimental. Our brothers and sisters celebrate the Chinese New Year, a lunar year, which varies from day to day, from year to year, between January 21st and February 20. Its origins, though rooted amongst our own Shang dynasty of 1600 to 1046 BCE, 3,500 years ago, it is clear that it is not older than what our ancestors created and invented in ancient times, 4236 and 4241 BCE, which is the oldest formal solar calendar on planet Earth. Others would love to celebrate Happy Noah's Day, which started at least 3,000 years ago, possibly as early as second millennium. Its origin, though they say is the oldest solar calendar, follows the Zoroastrian tradition, celebrates this god. Therefore, when you celebrate this day on a spring equinox around March 21st, you are marking the rebirth of this god, and you are empowering this god and giving this god power, and it takes power away from you and empowers his own people. We have got Diwali, a Hindu New Year. Hinduism is reputed to be the oldest religion, and we are told that it is about 4,000 years old. But you cannot compare 4,000 years to our African solar calendar of 75,000 years ago in Zaro Yelanga, Mpumalanga, in KwaZulu-Natal, in South Africa. It is clear that we have our own traditions to keep and to follow. Africans introduced the solar calendar around 4241, 4236 BCE. It is the oldest formal calendar in human history, making the start of observing a civil year based on the heliacal rising of the Sirius star, the dog star, Nyamatsatse. No other tradition predates this. This tradition points us to an ancient system and practice that points us to earlier forms of timekeeping or seasonal celebrations. It points us to the gods. It points us to the waters of Nyunyu, to the god Nyunyu, Gombre Nyunyu, and the emergence of matter in reality. It is important, therefore, that when we understand this, as you can watch this video, it is marked by the cosmic appearance of the star Nephthys on the 2 days that we have given. It is the beginning of time, end of eternity. It is a calendar year which was invented by Africans, and it had 360 days of 12 months each, giving 30 days, and when calculated gives 360 days, which is not the actual solar year, which is 365.25 a day. So the god Jigahute introduced by adding 5 extra days to the calendar after he had won a battle, a cosmic battle, in which he then had the power and authority to add to 360, the 5 days represented by the 5 epagomenal or gods. It is these gods that connects you to the goddess Nute of the dimensions, who has the capacity to open the portals for your consciousness to come out of time and space and to rise through the practice of these 5 extra days, to boost your divine spark, to remind your divine spark, to remind your soul of its actual home, of its actual infinity home, and associate with 5 deities. Practical application that enhances your New Year experience. So let us step forward with focus and with might. Let us be ready to embrace the challenges of coming into light. For the year of momentum is dawning upon us. We will find our way through inner strength and determination. We will be able to rise using these epagomenal days, which were introduced in ancient times, in our ancient culture, to mark the transition between the old and the new year. When we celebrate our New Year, September 23, we are entering actually into the most powerful 5 days that takes us into the waters of Nyunyu with vast potential, as long as you know and you are awake to that potential. We celebrate the happy birthday of Osiris, the happy birthday of Isis, the happy birthday of Horus the Elder, the happy birthday of Nephthys, and we also celebrate the birth of the evil one, of Shatter, of Set. There are practices that we know that are symbolized by these gods, and these gods are like switches, like circuit breakers, in which it is encapsulated within them the order, the chaos, the life, the death, and the renewal that is reflected by either consciously practicing connection with these gods. You might do it without knowledge. You might be duped to practice that. But the epagomenal days play a crucial role in your maintenance of cosmic balance as you approach the new times and the new year. If you do not do that and you follow other gods, you'll be following these gods that look back and forth like Janus. And they'll teach you about the beginning, whereas there is no beginning with us because we are infinite. For the specific dates, for the specific rituals, for what you need to do on these epagomenal days, and what you need to engage, the energies that you need to engage, the potentials that you need to look into as you transition from one year to the other through these 5 days. Please do not hesitate to get in touch with us on Malfado Family Network using our email join@malfado.com so that we can give you specific practices. You can also enroll into our Bantu University. You can go to our website malfado.org and enroll so that together we can establish our Bantu identity, which is our power. We can also continue to relive our divine ancestral wisdom and craft a compelling legacy. You can also follow us on Instagram on the website given here below. Therefore, as the year 6260 comes to an end, we reflect on the trials we have faced. We are alive because we triumphed through perseverance. Our hearts embraced truisms. We enter 6261, a year of momentum where we keep rising and where we will never look back like Janus or those that practice that which is not theirs. We ask you to think about this very seriously. We say subscribe to our channel, Hamiti Iburu Ethics, share and leave a comment. Tatenda, Siabonga, Asante Sana, Dalu, Twalumba. This is your manager to be Priest Rabbi LM Dumis Lukunikani Mujaganja saying happy New Year 6261. Year of deeds, not words. Let's celebrate and let's remember the work that lies ahead. Amen.